and we get in depth about what I personally think LSU has to do to beat the opponent that they have on Saturday. This week it's South Carolina. And look, 1,000 narratives and 1,000 things have been said about LSU over these last 2 weeks, and deservingly so. You lost to Ole Miss. You had 2 weeks. Is your quarterback hurt? We don't need to go through them anymore because the game's here. And there are things that you're going to just have to do to win, clearly. But the one thing that you must do, the top thing you must do to win this game on Saturday versus South Carolina is simply contain and maintain the contain on LaNorris Sellers. You know, I've seen a lot of comments this week, whether it be, Blake, LaNorris Sellers hadn't had a great year. He's not really that great of quarterback. Then, guys, I don't know what games that you're watching because I saw a guy get concussed. I saw a guy lead a drive, and they were about to go up 14 to Vandy before he got a concussion on a hit that probably should have been a targeting. He didn't run against Missouri and set in the pocket and was dealing with, guys, a receiving core that's not that great, got a lot of speed, but not that great. And a running quarterback, a very and high mobile quarterback, dotted an SEC team up that through 7 weeks is undefeated. He dotted them up. Guys, he is an amazing athlete. And you have not been consistent from this defensive staff in stopping someone at the quarterback position that can be mobile. You didn't do it against Trinidad Chambliss. Well, Blake, we somewhat did it against Clemson. Well, yeah, Cade Klubnik's not a bad athlete, but you actually let Harold Perkins be Harold Perkins, and you must do it again this week too. LaNorris Sellers is, I don't want to say the only reason or the only way that South Carolina can win. But my God, he's a massive one. And guys, I think he might be special. Really. The way that he runs the football. He's got a worse offensive line than you do. He's got a worse wide receiver room than you do. And he just continues to make things happen with his legs. And now it looks like that he's gone into the offseason and done some things and a lot of better things with his arm. Guys, we've seen him multiple times this season under immense amounts of pressure stay in the pocket and throw the football downfield for massive completions, something he didn't do last year because he was a little bit too happy in the pocket. Now he will sit there and has the confidence to make that throw, and you must contain him. Teams have sent massive amounts of heat after him. So these are two different points. Like, hey, you must contain him, but one and the same. Teams have gone all after LaNorris Sellers and have told them either, number one, beat us from the pocket, or number two, you're going to have to break a shitload of tackles to gain any amount of yardage here, which some instances he has. And guys, on Saturday, you're going to have to live with it. You know, the one thing that I think is so wild to me is over the last 2 weeks, and because we're LSU fans, we massively focus in on it, and we should. But the health status for Garrett Nussmeier has been the question. That LaNorris Sellers' health situation has gone by the wayside. Now, I know a couple of weeks ago he had a concussion. He came back against Vandy, but he's had some nicks and bruises here and there. Like he kind of got nicked up a little bit and had a hobble off to the sideline against Kentucky, but nobody seems to care because he came back and he's battling through it. Guys, this is a special dude. It is a special athlete. And in college football, when you have a special athlete at quarterback that can make plays on his own, those guys beat you. Ask Jaden. Now, they're two completely different quarterbacks, completely different situations. Jaden's clearly a better thrower than he is, but LaNorris Sellers is definitely more physical of a runner, and the styles are different, but the way that they produce is the same. You must contain LaNorris Sellers, and you must send all amounts of heat on him. Now, I agree with the sentiment out there that, look, we backed off of sending pressure on Trinidad Chambliss because we were gassed, and we don't want to keep gassing out our guys by sending them on pressures and blitzes. I'm with you. I get it. I understand it. But guys, this week you got to do everything humanly possible to contain LaNorris Sellers, because you can't have like what you had 2 weeks ago against Trinidad Chambliss when everything else on the back end is locked down and he's just going to run to give you a first down. You can't do it. Blake Baker has had struggles against rushing quarterbacks and very mobile quarterbacks, whether it be at Missouri, whether it be here. And you better figure out a way. And why you are asking, and that's why I agree with Chris Gordy so much last night on our show, you got to let Harold Perkins be Harold Perkins and say, listen, we are going to man up on the outside, and we're going to go man-to-man across the board. And if, guys, they beat us, they beat us. If LaNorris Sellers sits in the pocket, then he sits in the pocket. If he dimes you up, then he dimes you up. So what? You cannot allow him to do what he does best and get moving downhill, or they're going to beat your ass. You know, South Carolina, and something we've talked about over the last 2 weeks, they're dead last in the SEC in rushing. They've actually been worse than you. Here's the difference. They have a literal X factor that can go off at any time, and we have seen that does not need people's help to go off. Literally, go back last year and watch the Clemson game where he literally breaks 4 tackles in the backfield and scrambles for 25 yards and a score. Some people think because South Carolina is 3-2, they haven't had a great season. From a statistical analysis standpoint, their offense is ass, that he is. No, he's not. He's not. Do I think you can contain him? Yes. Do I think you're sending pressure after him this week? Yes. Should he scare the living dog shit out of every single one of you that will watch this clip or episode? Yes. Guys, he scares the shit out of me, and he should you. Now, he does not have the weapons around him that he did last year. I'm with you. I'm 1,000% with you. I agree with you. Because it's just the truth. Teams have had massive amounts of success on LaNorris Sellers because they're sending so much pressure and so many guys are getting home that he doesn't have many options but to go down. You got to limit those options and get after him. I think this defense, for what it's worth, is going to make up for what happened 2 weeks ago. And the sad and crazy thing is that there's nothing that they should, number one, hold their heads for. And number two, I don't think they played a bad game at all. Like, guys, if you would have told me a couple of weeks ago, and we said this during the post game, literally after losing to Ole Miss, if you would have told me you held them to 24 points, I'd say it's going to be damn close. But I think you get them. I think you get them. If you would have told me that this defense would have been on the field, penalties included, for over 95 plays, and they held a Lane Kiffin offense to 24 points, I would have been proud. And they should be. Got to get off the field on third down. They are horrible at getting off the field on third down. Horrendous at getting off the field on third down. But guys, staying on the field on third down, they've also been abysmal because they get in situations where they're forcing LaNorris Sellers to be Superman yet again. And Superman sometimes, because there's no one around him, turns into Clark Kent. You got to send pressure after him because I think that you're going to be able to lock them down at receiver. I do. They're going to attack P.J. Woodland, and they're going to attack DJ Pickett. Newsflash to everybody that's here. From here on out, unless you're fortunate to attack or to play a team like Ohio State in the playoff, and maybe outside the only team not being Texas A&M, because I think they will do this. People just are not going to start. They're not going to keep attacking Mansour Delane. They're not going to. I've said it a couple times. It just bears repeating. 2 Thursdays ago, I said on this show and said, hey, I talked to some people around Ole Miss, and I feel highly confident that they're not remotely targeting at Mansour Delane, and they're going to go right after Pickett, and they're going to go right after Woodland and say, what do you got? Well, they did. Guys, it's going to be the same this week. It might not start early. It might take them to the second quarter like it did Ole Miss. But once they do, they do. And P.J. Woodland made up for it because P.J. got the massive interception. But they're coming right after you. So to DJ and to P.J., you better be ready. If you contain him, I'm not asking you to stop LaNorris Sellers, though. If you contain him and slow him down, you're going to win this football game. And I have tons and tons of faith that you're going to be able to do it. You know, the vibe when I talk to people around the building, around LSU, from an LSU defensive perspective, I know that coaching staff's telling them, don't you dare hang your head about what happened 2 weeks ago. Continue to play your game. And they're right. And Blake Baker is going to be right if he tells his team that. Listen, the bottom line is you got to get after him. You can't let him be comfortable. You can't let him get in a rhythm. And this interior defensive line has got to have a massive day. They have offensive line issues right now, does South Carolina. And Bernard Gooden, Don McKinley, it's time to make a statement. Because this offensive line for South Carolina is dookie cheeks. They are horrible. You got to not only get home with 4, and I get that you can and pick your times when you do it, but they're so bad that teams have been sending pressure and LaNorris hasn't had a chance. Do it again. The success was there for Virginia Tech, and they don't have the secondary that you do. The success was there for Missouri. What did they do? The success was there in so many games that we've seen South Carolina play. Guys, South Carolina State, wasn't it? They did the same thing, and that's why that game was as close as it was. Now, I know there was a rain delay, but regardless, they got after him. You need to do it too. Containing LaNorris Sellers is the biggest thing for me because I think he's their team. He is their heartbeat. Guys, look how bad they were when he left. They moved a tight end to quarterback. Guys, they moved a tight end to quarterback against Vandy. Anyone who thinks that this dude's not special and cannot go off on you is clearly blind. That is the game for them. Do they have good players elsewhere? Yeah, they do. And I'm not going to sit here and act like that they don't have a lot of really good athletes. They do. But outside of quarterback, for me, you are more talented than them at every single position group. Receiver, yes, offensive line, defensive line, besides Dylan Stewart, linebacker, and secondary, you're better everywhere. You are better than them from a talent v. talent standpoint. Guys, it just comes down to, are you going to man up, go man-to-man against them? And are you just going to attack LaNorris Sellers and say, we are not letting you get away today? He's going to get his, guys. He's going to get his. Hot take. No, it's not a hot take. This is the best quarterback that you've seen all year. LaNorris Sellers, by far, is the best quarterback that you've seen all year. Better than Klubnik, better than Lagway, better than Chambliss, better than Southeastern, better than Louisiana. Not close, guys. He is that good. So, I slow him down. You're not. This defense has the ability to stop him. You don't need to. Slow him down, and you're going to win this football game. And if you're the boundary outside corners, well, be ready. Unless your name's Mansour Delane, you don't really have to be ready. Unless Nick Harbor's against you, they'll literally throw on anybody. So we'll see. All right. A couple other things here. That's really all I'm going to say about the defense. Guys, this point last year, we had given up 3 30-point games already. You've given up 0 now. So coming in here and saying that they're not improving, that they're not a good defense, I'm just not going to do it. I think you're going to get after their run game. I think LaNorris Sellers should scare you, but this team's good, man, from a defensive perspective. And listen, and growing. I heard from a defensive perspective, I think if you talk to anyone in that building, they think that no one had a bigger 2 weeks than maybe Deshaun Spears. So, look, we'll see, man. We shall see. Let's move over to the offensive side of things because that's clearly where we're going to spend most of our time here. Number one in keys to victory for the offensive side of things, number 4 overall. What is your game plan versus Dylan Stewart? Guys, I haven't talked a lot about Dylan Stewart this week because it's been talked about ad nauseum. What do you want me to say? That Weston Davis has struggled? Yeah, he struggled. He's definitely struggled with speed rushes. Well, even if he didn't, even if Weston Davis had been solid, you're still going to have to massively game plan around Dylan Stewart. And Weston Davis, buddy, here's your chance. You've struggled. You've had a couple of weeks to kind of recoup. You didn't play against Ole Miss. So really, your energy and everything that you have should be recharged for arguably, let's not even say arguably, for the best end that you're going to see all year. The best player that Weston Davis is going to see all year, he faces on Saturday night in Dylan Stewart. Brian Kelly, in his press conference on Monday, did not hesitate to say, we're going to do some things and have some things ready for Dylan Stewart. Well, you better. Because, guys, from a pass rush standpoint, he is the best. He's not the best in run game situations, but 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, you better keep your eyes on number 6 because there's a high, strong possibility that he's coming to make a play. The amount of disruption that he's caused this season and the success that South Carolina has had defensively, damn near all of it revolves around number 6. So to ends this week, you're going to have to get a really good lick on Dylan Stewart over and over and over again. Running backs, you're going to have to get after him. And here's the God's honest truth. I know he doesn't want to do it, but the second key to victory from an offensive side of things, the 5th overall, Garrett better use his legs this week. Because I think there's a little bit of a falsehood about this South Carolina team. The falsehood is that they don't – look, are they as good of a defense as they were last year? No, they don't have Kyle Kennard. They don't have Tonka Hemingway. They don't have Nick Emenwari. Because they're not slouches. Outside of Florida – from a statistical analysis standpoint, this is the second best defense that you've played. Florida being the first. Because they're right there statistically with what Florida's done. Now, Florida's had a tougher schedule, and I'm with you there. I'm with you. Because I think a lot has been made. All this South Carolina defense isn't good. I don't know what y'all are seeing. Every media person for LSU who says that this South Carolina defense isn't that great clearly has not watched. Because when I look at South Carolina, I say to myself, well, let's see how many points they're giving up. Oh, that's right, the same amount as Ole Miss was. And Ole Miss clapped your cheeks. They did. So when you're top 30 in the country in scoring defense, when you're top 35 in the country in total defense, yeah, they're not bad because their safety room has been really good. Their edge room has been really good, mainly due to Dylan Stewart. Because you had 2 really good bookends last year, where this year, well, the question is, and a lot of you have said it yourself, you think that maybe you don't. But LaNorris says, but Garrett Nussmeier is going to have to be on the move this week. If he sees a run lane, for once in his life, he's got to take off. He's got to take off. You got to break this team's back that wants to get after you. You're not running the ball. And you got to find yardage in the run game from your quarterback. Blake, it's not his game. I know it's not. And no one is asking him to get 10 yards a pop here. No one's asking him to go prime Jaden Daniels. But when he starts getting rush lanes, because Dylan Stewart's is on the move and he's coming after you, if you see a rush lane on 1st and 2nd down, hell, even on 3rd down, if it serves it well, take it. Take it. This safety room should scare you too. But in reference to Dylan Stewart, to wrap this whole point up in a bow, guys, I'm just telling you, That kid's special. He's going to be a top 10 pick next year. Not like this upcoming next year's draft, but like not this year's draft, but next year's draft. He's going to be a top 10 pick. And unless something completely implodes, which crazier things have happened. But I don't think that he will. If he's not imploding now, he's not going, when he made millions of dollars, he's not going to now. The first announcement of NIL and TV rev share, by the way, was Dylan Stewart. Go look it up. South Carolina was all over it. Weston Davis has got to be big. This tight end room has got to be big. This running back room and pass pro has got to be big. You know you can't run the ball. So now pass protection becomes the biggest thing here. You're going to have to take some short shots. Garrett's going to have to know to take what's in front of him, which leads me to my next point. Garrett's got to move the football with his legs. And it's just the bottom line truth. He's got to get moving. Now, here's the thing, too. His coordinator's got to help him out with that. Move him right. Move him left. Let him do a bootleg. Play action. Let him do something to get his ass out of that pocket to where he makes only a couple of choices or only has a couple of decisions that he has to make, or he runs the football. First play of the game, go play action, take a deep shot. Next play, roll him out of the pocket. See what happens. But I promise you this, if you don't start getting moving, you're not going to – you might have some success this week because you did some creative things during a bye week. From a season, you won't. He's got to get moving. He's got to get moving. And I got to be real with you. I've seen excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. And the bottom line truth is he's got to get moving. He's got to make better decisions, which is what we'll talk about now. The next thing, guys, is if you're able to slow down, you're not going to stop. But if you're able to slow down Dylan Stewart, the second best thing is that your quarterback has got to be a better decision maker than he has been. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off here and I've been waiting for 2 weeks to kind of rip the Band-Aid off. Here's the truth. I know we've hinted around this. We've talked about it, and I've said it to some extent. Garrett has got to simply start making better decisions. I don't want to hear it anymore. The turnovers are a problem. The throwing into triple coverage is a problem. Not taking stuff underneath is a problem that he has to correct right now. If anyone can't see that, you're blinded by your own takes. You're blinded. You can label me the hater all you want to, but the eye in the sky doesn't lie. You're not a good team on offense. You do not have a good offense. You can't run the ball. So, what does that mean? Are you probably going to get sacked more? Yes. Is your quarterback probably going to get hit more? Yes. Does that mean that he needs to get the ball out a little bit quicker than normal to kind of just methodically move the football down the field? Yes. This is not a difficult game, guys. As much as we try to X and O's and talk about this and that and this and that, guys, football is football. And the I can't even say it. The rudimentary things that have always given teams success don't change. But when you take some of those easy things out, then the other parts have to be more vital. Like I think about stories. I had a good friend of mine in college who lost eyesight in one of his eyes. And he was telling me this has got to be about a year ago. Actually, no. It was during the Tennessee series when I went to the LSU Tennessee baseball game. I saw him. So great to see him. And we were talking, and he goes, dude, and we're just sitting there at a tailgate. And he's like, dude, ever since I lost my eyesight and my eye, I felt like my other senses have picked up. I bring that story up to say, when something so critical is taken away from you, other things overcompensate and have to overcompensate. You got to start making better decisions. Love me, hate me, I don't give a flying shit, but it is the truth. It is the truth. I don't care about the personnel. When I'm talking about this, I don't care what the personnel on the field is. The personnel on the field is the personnel on the field. Now, do I care about the personnel on the field? Yes. Do I think they need to get better with rotations? Yes. We'll talk about that next. But you got to start making better decisions. You can't have 15 interceptions and 10 SEC starts, guys. You just can't do it. At some point, the decision-making, hurt or not hurt, injured or not injured, has got to be better. If he is going to play, the excuse has been, let me back up. The excuse has been Blake, he's hurt. You are right. Everyone knows that. But if he's going to play, it doesn't stop that if you turn the ball over in critical situations, that's how you lose ball games. I know a whole nother issue that you've had is that you've only scored 13 points off of the turnovers that you've gotten. What? Guys, you almost have it not, I mean, it's not relatively close, but 13 points over 8 turnovers that you've gotten this season. Like, just as an example, let's just say that you averaged, and I don't think it's remotely hard, but let's just say that you averaged a field goal in all 8 of those turnovers that you got. The minimum amount of points that you should have is 24 off of those 8 turnovers. You have 13. Guys, you have 13. You're barely at 2 or 1.5 in points that you're getting and generating off of turnovers. It's not good enough. Guys, I don't know what to tell you, but if decision-making from the quarterback position does not get better, then you're going to be in for a rocky road. You can't throw the ball in the triple coverage. Sorry. I don't care if you're hurt or not hurt. You can't do it. He did it last year in this exact game. And before you say it was a blindside hit on Kennard, no, it wasn't. I will gladly DM me. I will gladly show you where and how it's not. Just because Garrett's head's turned doesn't mean that Kennard's not right in front of his face and hitting him, because he is. Even the hit and the blindside block on South Carolina last year doesn't stop that you threw the ball in the triple coverage. That has been a problem for you. If they're dropping 8, everybody in the building should know that, number one, they're dropping 8, but your quarterback has got to know by now, especially after 2 weeks ago, that stuff underneath, just by happenstance, has got to be open. You want them to stop dropping 8, hit the shit underneath. It is as simple as that. And before you say Joe Sloan's not calling it, guys, that's bullshit. Can show you that too. Guys, your offensive line's not great, and you got to work around it. Your run game's not there. You got to work around it. But the one thing that you can't control the personnel right now along your offensive line. You can't change some of the things that are plaguing you as a team offensively. The only thing that you can control, the only thing that on Saturday night that you can control for a 100% certainty is your decision-making. If someone physically beats you, that's fine. Can live with it. You give LaNorris Sellers multiple opportunities here, he's going to beat you. You give him opportunities he shouldn't have, he's going to beat you. You make bad decisions, and you got to punt the football away to probably the most dangerous return man in the SEC, maybe if the nation, you're in trouble. Like it, love it, hate it, agree with it, or don't agree with it. The bottom line is Garrett has got to start making better decisions. You cannot continue to defend some of the decision making. If you can't throw the ball 35 yards, know your limitations. At what point did you not know that today is just not my day? You want to get down to brass tacks? You want somebody to tell you the truth? Well, there's the truth. I see my nephews in here. Number one, Miami, Zaxby's and Dairy Queen, hashtag. Shout out to cousin Oliver. I call him my nephew, but he called me today, by the way, wearing a Bama jersey. First thing I told him when I answered the phone is he better take it off. He's going to be starting, he says he's starting his own podcast. Uncle Blake better watch out. He's starting the Ozone. Shout out to the Ozone. Regardless, and back to the main topic here. Guys, I've been doing this for a hot minute now. Okay? All I would tell you is this. If your quarterback continues to make bad decisions, it's not going to end well. And I will tell you, guys, if I was scared of the comment section, I wouldn't run out here and tell you that it's a problem when it clearly is. Because there's nothing in this world that I've taken more criticism over, which is fine, over that. But I acknowledge it. But it's the truth. And this whole offensive staff, for what it's worth, this whole offense should take offense to what everybody said about them. But you're not good. You're not good. Everybody coming out here saying, man, we got to find a run game. I mean, great take. Great take. Fantastic take. We got to block better. Great take by you. Fantastic take. But I see a comment already. Boy, we're not playing Ohio State. Dylan Stewart will knock your block off. And Cheetah, you were in here telling me I shouldn't be worried about Ole Miss and can pull the comments. And you were wrong, my guy. Y'all go ahead and play around if you want to. Y'all go ahead and play around if you want to. You make bad decisions, you're gonna be coming in here in the post game saying, "What in the hell just happened?" All right. Couple other things. Listen, you can't abandon the run game, even though it's god awful, right? It is god awful. You can't run the football. You got to try everything you can. I want to see LSU this weekend run a counter, a power, a jet sweep. I want to see them run a freaking draw with a running back. I want to see them run a draw with Garrett Nussmeier. Blake, we can't do that. He's hurt. Then he shouldn't be playing, guys. You got to do everything humanly possible to win. Everything. When's the last time that you've run a draw from a running back position? Guys, name it. Because I can tell you, it was this game last year. You gave a draw off to Caden Durham, and they were rushing Garrett, and he went off. Listen, guys, I have no idea what to tell you about a run game. I expect nothing. I expect nothing anymore. Watch him go out there and run for 175. Please, sweet Bayou Jesus, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, amen. Light a candle at church. Put a rosary over the run game for all I care. I have no faith that it's going to work, though. You can put the rosary on it. You can light the candle. You can go to the pew and beg and plead with God. But until we sit here and we actually see it, I'm not buying it. I'm over it. So you're going to have to do other things. Don't abandon it, because God forbid you do break one. You can't abandon the run game. But the bottom line truth is I have zero faith that you can run for 100 yards this week. Zero. None. Nada. Well, if you can't run for 100 yards this week, well, we'll see.